Morning, morning Vicky. Morning. Let me see. I think I'm just trying to work out how to make. There you go. I've added Julie as a moderator. Cool. Lovely. Welcome everyone. How are you doing today? I can take my glasses off now because I've done the important thing. Welcome everyone. So nice to see you all. How are we all doing this morning? Morning, Michelle. Oh, nice to see you. Glad you make it. Morning, Jasmine. I'm thinking Vicky's in a coffee shop having a nice coffee somewhere. Where is everyone else? Jasmine, are you working? Are you supposed to be working? What about you, Julie? How's everyone doing? Morning, Holly. Lovely to see you. I am rushing from meeting to meeting today. I had a meeting at 9, which finished dead on just on 10, and I'm like, quick, my next meeting. And then this last meeting finished about 6 minutes ago. So now I'm here. So I'm all just busy today. So how are you all doing? How is your Friday going? I hope you're all right. I'm going to have to let me scroll this over so I can actually see the big, look, this is better. So when I scroll over, it gives me enlarged print. So I can actually read it. Oh, look, so Sarah is in Northern Ireland drinking tea at home. How lovely. That sounds good to me. Michelle, I'm very well, thank you. I hope you're well too. Morning, Julie Reese Diva from California. So Julie has very kindly offered to be another moderator for me. So welcome to Julie. I already have a really lovely team of moderators, but this is quite a commitment for them. And they always say, oh, no, it's fine. It's not commitment. We enjoy it. But I'm really aware that I don't want people to feel that they have to come along every week. But they are absolutely lovely. And so I've got the lovely Vicky Hodson and Jasmine. Lynn is not here today. So Lynn, hopefully you can see this on the catch up on YouTube. But we've got the lovely Julie who is joining us from California. So gosh, what time is it? It's that must mean, what's 12 take away 8? It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, I think, in California. So that is true dedication. Thank you so much for being here. So Jasmine's at her desk contemplating going on the exercise bike. So Jasmine does a lot of miles on her exercise bike when she's moderating for us. Kirsty Collier, hello, I'm very well. How are you doing? You all right? Let's see, what else have we got? Morning to everyone. Morning, Amira. What's your morning been like so far, everyone? Morning, Jen. Oh, you're feeling really tired today. I'm sorry about that. It's horrible, isn't it? Hopefully you got some time today or this weekend where you can take some time for you and just sort of recuperate, rest a little bit. Just scrolling through here. So as you're saying, feeling very overwhelmed today. Had an anxiety attack at work and told my manager I can't do the job. Oh, bless you. I hope that they are supporting you because they have a duty of care for you. And I really hope that instead of just going, oh yes, okay, off you go, bye. I hope that HR can get involved, that you have someone kind at work that can say, okay, how can we help you? It's understandable on your part that when you've had an anxiety attack that you just want to remove yourself from the situation, but don't necessarily walk out on your job. Have a look at what your options are. Things will look different when you've recovered from it and you're feeling a little bit more together. Hopefully things will feel a bit different. Jordan says that Jordan is looking after my 2-week-old ducklings whilst watching. Oh my goodness, that is so adorable. Ducklings are just gorgeous, aren't they? I love that. So are you outside or are you inside? Are you sitting? I am imagining you sitting by a little pond with the blue skies and the ducklings just splashing about. Let us know what's going on with your duckling. Let's have a look at anything else. I have to read this. DT Crystal Creations says, hello from our little crystal shop in South Wales. Oh, hello. Whereabouts in South Wales are you? Such a beautiful part of the country, and I love the idea of having you being on in a little crystal shop there. My son went to university in Swansea, and my brother lives in Cardiff, so I love that part of the country. Let's have a look. Sarah says, my budgie died this week. Had her a year and 9 months. 19-year-old cat died this year too. Feel my world is getting smaller, I think you said. Oh, I really feel for you, Sarah. That's so sad. These little creatures come into our worlds, don't they? And they can make such a difference. They give unconditional love. And when we lose them, it's just devastating. So I hope that this live can just be a little bit of comfort for you today. I hope that you're all right. Jasmine says, I've made my nanny a cake this morning, writing for work, and it's hurting my brain. So did that instead. I love that. What sort of cake was it, Jasmine? What is everyone's favourite type of cake? I've got a few. I really love a really nice fruit cake, not too dense. I really love a lemon drizzle cake, and I love a chocolate fudge cake. So what's everyone else's favourite type of cake? Have a little look in the comments and see. And we've got some questions coming in. So H, how do you overcome social anxiety? So let me make a note of that. Social anxiety, okay. And DT Crystal Creation says that you're in Cwmbran. Beautiful. That's not a place that I've been. I'm going to have to visit it, clearly, aren't I? Maybe that would be so funny, wouldn't it? If next time I'm in Wales, I come into your little crystal shop. That would be so cool. I'm going to have to look you up. So Jordan is sitting outside by the pond with a coffee, hearing lots of squeaks and a roaming tortoise. Oh, how wonderful. That is so good. So good. I'm very envious of you. I'm going out for a walk after this, and I don't know, I don't think there'll be any ducks or ponds or anything like that, but I can't wait to get outside. It looks lovely today. So let me introduce myself to you. If you are joining us and you're new here, or you're wondering, what's this all about? So my name's Sarah Aris, and I'm a Quest Cognitive Therapist. So that's QCH for short. And it's a talking therapy. Most of my work is spent working with people who are anxious, people who have fears, maybe people who feel a bit stuck, maybe have quite low self-esteem, lacking in confidence, that sort of thing. And we meet every Friday to talk about anxiety, to answer any questions you might have. Last time we did a live that was very practical, doing practical stuff, and we'll do that again. But today it's just having a chat, catching up, maybe answering some questions that you have. What I tend to do is I'll write the questions down and I'll answer them as best I can. I'm joined by my lovely moderators, and as a lovely team of people. So we've got Vicky Hodson, Jasmine, and we've got a new person joining us today, Vicky. What am I talking about? Not Vicky at all. Julie Reese Diva, who is joining us from California. And Julie has been coming along to these lives for a really long time. And when I asked for moderators last week, she was one of the people that put her name forward, and so this is her first time. So the moderators are the people that keep everything kind and safe, and we've created over time a really nice community. So hopefully you are very welcome to join us here. Let's have a little look. Jasmine says that the cake she made for her nan was a vegan chocolate Malteser cake. Oh, her birthday's Sunday, but I'm seeing her tomorrow. How lovely. You're lucky, Nan. Okay. Let's have a look. Oh, Sarah says, I'm vegan too. Malteser cake sounds incredible. Woohoo, I'm vegan too. We can call it the vegan show. You don't have to be vegan to be here, but you're very welcome if you are. Everyone's welcome. Let's have a look. Let's have a look here. Oh, Missy B 902 says chocolate lava cake with vanilla ice cream. Nom 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 nom. I've never had that. I've never had a lava cake. What's that? That's really interesting. And M says my therapy was on Thursday this week, so I'm able to catch more of your live. Woohoo! Excellent. I'm very, very pleased that you're here. That's so good. Okay. All right then. So let me answer some questions here. And someone else has said here, I keep failing my driving test. Anxiety fails me. Okay. So I'm sorry to hear that. So let me make a note of that. Okie dokie. Oh, so it was interesting because someone, I think it was Caitlin, messaged me the other day, and she emailed me and she said, I just wanted you to know that I was on your live a little while ago and I asked advice about my driving test because I was so anxious about doing it. And she had passed her driving test and it made my day. It was so lovely to get that feedback. And we get that quite a bit on here, that people do come back and tell us how they did. And hopefully it gives hope to other people on the live to know that, you know, the things that I I sort of share on here can be really helpful. Obviously, they're not necessarily everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine. It's the same for any therapy, isn't it? That they can be, all therapy helps someone, but not all therapy helps everyone. So let me look at these first questions here. So H was talking about social anxiety and overthinking. So it's all right. My son is filling up his glass with water. You can be as noisy as you like. It's absolutely fine. So, so social anxiety is a tricky one. I think we all feel it to a certain extent. That sense of, you know, new situations, perhaps. I think what is interesting is to look at what does it mean for you? Is it about meeting new people? Is it generally going into a group of people? Is it one-to-one? How does it manifest for you? What does social anxiety feel like for you? And once you know what that is, then you can understand that it's a protective behaviour. So at some point, so there's two things. So the first thing is that it's really important for us as human beings to fit in. We are social creatures, and it's very important historically that we fit in with our tribe, because the tribe protects us. When we're with other people and we feel seen and heard and part of the tribe and comfortable within that tribe, then we are protected, we are safe, and if we don't feel that, if we're not feeling that, if we're not part of a tribe, if we don't feel connected, then that's quite difficult, isn't it? If you think about millennia ago, where we needed to be seen as part of the tribe, if we weren't for some reason, if we were other for some reason, then the chances are that we would be shunned, we would be ostracized, we would be thrown out of the cave or wherever it was that we were living. And that would mean that we had no shelter, we had no warmth, we had no food, we had no protection, all of those things. So it's hardwired into us that we do fit in with our tribe. And so our nervous system is constantly scanning for that. We're looking for the cues, both verbally and physically, that we are part of this tribe. And if we have had something that's happened to us in our past that makes us feel that perhaps we're not part of a tribe, maybe we feel a little bit other, a little bit separate from other people, then that can make us be on hyper vigilant, hyper alert, and make us feel, oh my goodness, there's something wrong with me potentially, or I feel very, very uncomfortable coming into this space with people. So what we can do first of all is help our nervous system feel safe and comfortable. And we can do that by lots of the stuff that I share on my page. I have a grid, there's lots and lots and lots of videos, and there's categories at the bottom of the page. And there will be one on social anxiety. So you could maybe have a little look at that. But it's about creating an environment in which we can live, where we feel present, we feel in flow. We have an environment where we are able to be in growth, and we can connect with people. So it can be helpful to look at who are the people that I can connect with, and how can I make sure that I'm with those people more of the time. So that's a beginning point, to find out the people that we do feel comfortable with, and then begin to grow into feeling more comfortable with the people that we're not currently comfortable with. So that can be by being interested in other people, by not forcing ourselves to go into situations that feel like we're pushing ourselves into our red zone. So if our green zone is at home and with the people that we feel comfortable with, then it's about just stepping into the amber zone a little bit, so that we just dip into things and then come back again. And then our brain starts to learn, okay, that was all right, we managed that okay, and we can try again. So we just try, come back, and it becomes easier and easier. Some of the things that you can do is, to be interested in other people, to thinking about conversation as being a thread, so that you're thinking about being interested in other people and then picking up on their answers. So if you say to someone, oh, where do you live? And they say, oh, I live in Leeds. And you say, oh, Leeds, oh, I've never been there. Or, oh, Leeds, I've been there, I loved it, I love the blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, it's a backwards and forwards, it's a tennis match of conversation, trying to make the other person feel comfortable. And then in doing that, your nervous system, so if you imagine your spaghetti on legs, these are your nervous systems. And you can go in and you're looking for people to connect with. And by showing interest in other people, they begin to feel more relaxed, and they perhaps are interested in you, and then you can connect in a way that feels much more comfortable. So I hope that helps a little bit. Thank you so much. I can see there's lots of comments flying by. I saw Jasmine saying to like. You can, if you tap, and I realise the likes have gone up loads. And the reason that we ask you to tap the screen and to like the live is that TikTok and the algorithm, when there are lots of likes on something, they think, oh, this must be something that is of use to people, it's of value, and so therefore we'll push it out to other people. And that's what we want. We're here as a team to help as many people as we can with their mental well-being, to answer questions about anxiety and overthinking and fears and all of the self-care, that kind of stuff. And so if it's helpful and people like it, then that would be great to get it to as many people as possible. You can also share it. There's the little arrow down the bottom right, I think it is. So if you tap on that, then you can share it to people, friends that you think might be interested. If you can't be here for long, then don't worry about that, because it will be on my YouTube, Sarah Ayres Therapy, later on this weekend. I'm really useless at putting up on my YouTube. I'll sit there at 10 o'clock at night and go, oh my God, I have not put it up on my YouTube yet. I must do that. But if you can't stay for long, then that's always an option for you. And that's free to subscribe to. Everything is free on here. So you don't ever have to pay for anything. Please don't subscribe to me on TikTok, because that will cost you money and I don't want that. So let's have a little look. Welcome to everyone who's here. It's really nice to have you joining us. Let's have a little look. I saw someone. I'm going to answer these questions about driving tests in just a moment. So someone's saying here, any tips for living with a bipolar spouse? Decades in, not sure I can keep going. Gosh, that's so hard, isn't it? I do feel for you, and I feel for your spouse. Now, I don't work with people who have bipolar. That is beyond my level of training. And so I'm not really someone to talk specifically about this. And I saw another, so Trevor says, have you helped with any patient with psychosis before? And again, that's something that is beyond my level of training. So I haven't, and I wouldn't. That's one of the questions that I make sure that I ask. But, you know, you can still help if you have someone in your life who has bipolar or some other form of psychosis, for example. I think it's the same as it's a human thing, isn't it? It's about perhaps asking them what they need from you. It's about maintaining your boundaries so you also have time for you, so your time isn't spent your whole time looking after them and being with them. You have to have space for you. You have to have time and space to decompress, to have comfort in your life. And so it's for them, ask them what they need, you know, whether this is someone who has got bipolar or something like that, or someone who has anxiety, depression, someone who has a phobia, who's frightened. What do they need from you? Because they're living in their model of the world. We can look at them and go, oh, well, I know what I would need, but that's not necessarily what they need. Do they need help and advice, or do they just need you to listen? Do they need you to be there? Do they need you to cook a nice meal for them sometimes, or, you know, do that kind of stuff? Everyone is an individual. Everyone has a unique way of being. Everyone has different needs. And so checking in with them first is really, really important. Obviously, to do that checking in, try and do that in a time when they're in a good space where they can think rationally and feel able to talk about what their needs are. If they're in the height of things being really difficult, then it's very difficult for people to think rationally, no matter what's going on. If we're in protection, or if we're in crisis, it's very hard to think clearly. So it's about catching that moment where they're feeling all right. The other thing that I would say is, what's the other thing I was going to say? Kindness. Yeah. I mean, it's about being kind, isn't it? It's about helping that person to understand that you love them. You love them no matter what, that you love them as a person and their behaviour, even though people's behaviour when they're not doing very well emotionally or mentally can be very challenging when you're living with them all the time. You still love them for who they are, for who they were when you first met them. I hope that makes sense. But, you know, boundaries are really important when you are the partner of someone who's going through difficult times. You matter. You matter. It's really important that you meet your needs too. So I hope that helps a little bit. Let's have a little look. Like as non-binary says, I'm wanting to start my business, but I don't feel mentally strong enough as I'm anxious about it. So I remember you commented the other day, didn't you? And it's small steps. You know, starting a new business is, let me just make a note of this. I am coming to talking about driving tests, starting a new business and feeling anxious. Okay, so doing anything new can feel scary because it feels like the unknown. It feels like we're moving into uncharted territory. And so the thing to realise is that you don't have to become Tesco in one fell swoop. It's about chunking it down into small steps. What do you need to do? Do you need to do research? Do you need to create a website? Do you need to start social media? Do you need to do some training to be able to help people or to give the service that you want to give? And it's about looking at, okay, what is the thing? If there was one thing that I could do today, I did a post about this yesterday, if there's one thing that I could achieve today that takes me closer to my goal, what would that be? And that's all you need to do. So I think that's really important to remember, and work on the anxiety that you feel. Begin to create that environment of safety. If you feel like you need to go and talk to someone, then talk to a therapist about this and about how you're feeling, because maybe there's stuff in your background that you maybe need to sort out that can help you feel more confident and safer within yourself. And yeah, so it's small steps. It's working steadily towards a goal. You know, when I first started out, if you'd have said to me 10 years ago that I'd be running my own business and working as a training manager for the Quest Institute and, you know, doing weekly lives talking about mental health with people, I'd have just laughed. I said, no, there's no chance. I can't do that. And yet here I am. I'm doing these things and I feel comfortable and confident in doing them. But that hasn't turned up in one fell swoop. It's happened gradually over time. You know, when I first started seeing clients, I had like 1 or 2 clients a week, and that was all I had. When I was asked to be manager at the Quest Institute, I laughed at them. I said, what, me? You must be joking. So, you know, it's small steps. You can do this. You can do this. Make it as manageable as possible for yourself and work on the anxiety in the best way that you know. So I hope that is helpful a little bit. Thank you ever so much for those of you who are here, those of you who are staying here. And yeah, I really appreciate everyone being here. Thank you, Ayn. That's really nice. I hope I'm saying your name right. I might not be, but thank you for the flower. That's lovely. So as Jasmine says, you don't know until you try. That's the thing. It's, you know, we just make these small steps. We try, we push into our amber zone, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. You know, if it works and we're like, yay, this is fantastic, I can build on this. If it doesn't work, we look at it and go, oh, right, okay, what went wrong there? How can I build on that again? What can I learn from this? There's loads of stuff that I've done in my business and my job as a therapist that I think, oh, blimey, I could have done that better. How can I do it better next time? It's okay. It's all right to fail. You know, there's loads of stuff that I've done that I think, oh, that was bad, but I won't make that same mistake next time. So, and that's all it is. It's just trying, learning, growing, building. So, right, let's have a little look here. Okay. So Shannon says, I feel like I'm losing my mind. I can't concentrate, like I'm not good enough. What should I do? Let me just make a note of that and then I'll come back to you, Shannon. I'm sorry that you're feeling like that. It's really hard, isn't it, when you're feeling like that? But I will come back and answer that. I've just made a note of it. Okay, and nonchalant says, my 8-year-old is refusing to attend school and complains of anxiety-like symptoms like stomachache, etc. Okay. Make a note of that too. Okay. And so Brader's 77 said, people with a health anxiety, to help, I wrote down all my symptoms so they were off my chest. So that's a good idea, isn't it? I think, you know, with health anxiety, I know that probably if you have health anxiety, you spend quite a lot of time at the doctors getting things checked out. But, you know, if that helps, then that's good. I think with health anxiety, it's really, really helpful to talk to a therapist because it comes from something. And the thing with health anxiety, as I've said before, is that it's a tricky one because you go round and round in a closed loop because you feel anxious, you feel physical symptoms, your brain makes that into there's something wrong with me. And so then you feel anxious about that and you go round and around and round. So, okie dokie. So I'm just going to look at the questions about driving test, first of all. So driving test, everyone gets nervous when they go and do their driving test. It's completely normal. You're going to have a level of anxiety if you're 98% of the population, that you're going to be worried about, oh, you know, am I going to make a mistake? I've told everyone I'm doing my driving test. What will people think of me if I fail? If you failed before, you're living that again, thinking, what if I fail again? What will people think of me? Am I going to be judged? What if I make a terrible mistake? What if I crack? Loads and loads of things. And sometimes your body just takes over. You get in the car, you've been absolutely fine. You go to have your driving test and you're like, oh, I can't think straight. I can't see straight. I can't hear what the driving instructor is telling me. All of that is going on in your mind. So so I just caught a comment there that I thought okay, I'll come back to those. I'll have a little look. I'm just thinking there's quite a few comments about health anxiety here, which is tricky. Okay, but I will come back to that. If you have a look, also there's stuff on my page about health anxiety. It's quite a few that I've done about health anxiety. Yes, and nonchalant. Yes, Sarah Eris Therapy. There's a link on my profile. There's a link tree on my TikTok profile. But if you look at Sarah Eris Therapy, the YouTube is there. But if you look on my profile, there's a link. You go through loads of resources, including my YouTube. If you Google my name, Sarah Eris Therapy, it will come up. So I will talk about your thing with your 8-year-old, and it will be on there for you to find. I hope that's helpful. I hope you managed to see that. Okay, so I was talking about driving tests and feeling anxious and how normal that is. So what we need to do is we need to lower the level of anxiety just generally. Okay, so that's something that we do by doing things that we love, because when we do the things that we love, we have the release of hormones that tell our nervous system that we're safe. So if we're connected with people, if we're having fun with people, if we're doing activities that we love, if we're with our animals that we love, then generally we're going to have a lower level of stress hormone going on. Now, if you get nervous about driving, then when we're triggered by that, if you have a driving lesson or if you're going for a driving test, then it is going to go boom up. It is going to go up. But if we're working from a level where we're right up here, because we've not done any work on our anxiety, and so the adrenaline and cortisol are right up here, then when you get spiked and triggered, you're going to go boom, and it's going to go into overwhelm. However, if you can generally create an environment where you feel much safer, more comfortable, calmer, more in flow, then your levels of adrenaline and cortisol are going to be right down here. So when you go for your driving test, yes, they might go a little bit, but they're not starting from up here. So it's a general thing, looking at your lifestyle. How can I begin to feel generally more relaxed, more in flow, safer, more present? Okay. Then there's stuff that you can do. There's techniques that are on my page. So there's 3 pin posts on the top of my page. If you're looking on your phone, you'll see them. And all 3 of those can be really helpful in the lead up to giving you a sense of control over doing your driving test. Okay. And obviously, when you're doing your driving test, you can't be driving and tapping or driving and imagining spinning at the same time, because that wouldn't be safe. But what those techniques do, you can do those in the lead up to your driving lessons, your driving test, so that again, your nervous system is a bit steadier. It's down here. And also, when you're much calmer and in flow and present down here, then what happens is that you're much more online cognitively. So you can think, you can hear, you can slow everything down. Things that you can do when you're actually driving and you're in your test is look at some of the breath techniques I share. And again, there's a category on my page specifically about breath techniques. Slow, steady, sending the message to your nervous system, everything is okay. I am just going to do this. I'm going to do my test, and it's all about information. If you can reframe your driving test about, this is information, I just need to do things one thing at a time. Even if I pass or if I fail, it's all information, because actually you start to be a good driver when you've done your test, when you qualified. What you can also do is you can look to the future and imagine things going really well. So if you take times in your day to imagine getting in the car, doing your setup, adjusting your seat, adjusting your mirrors, putting your safety belt on, smiling, slowing, breathing, and understand that, if you make a mistake, it's okay. The driving instructor is looking for you to be able to deal with the mistakes. When I had my driving test, I had to do a hill start on a T-junction, and it was just it was tricky, and I stalled. I stalled the car, but I just put my handbrake on, and I was like, okay, I'll just check everything's safe again. I started my car, and I just took my time, and I thought to myself inside, I might have failed, but the driving instructor at the end said, you coped with that situation really well. So sometimes it's about coping with situations well. And if you're online cognitively and you're calm and able to be present, then that's great. It's really about being present. And there's one of the pin posts is this one that can help you practice being present. So I hope that helps a little bit. Let me have a little look, see if there's any questions here. Oh, Elizabeth, it's so nice to see you. Elizabeth Malmros. I have so much laundry today. I'm so stressed out right now. I need to calm down. Okay. Why don't we just let's break out of what the plan was, and let's do a nice calming thing, shall we? Shall we do, what do you reckon? Let's have a choice. We can either do a breathing thing, or we can do this thing, or we can do some tapping. What would everyone like? Elizabeth and everyone else, if you're feeling a bit stressed, just make a little note in the comments. What would you prefer to do? What would be helpful? So Jen says tapping. Let's have a look. Elizabeth says breathing. Benny says they know me from somewhere. Okay, maybe. Someone else says tapping. Okay, so I'm going to start with some breathing, and then we'll move into some tapping, okay? Because Elizabeth is the one that's cried out for help. So let's do some breathing. Let's just do a simple triangle breath. So we're just going to just stop. Whatever you're doing, stop. Be where you are. If you can sit down, sit down. If you need to lie down, lie down. But we're going to start to breathe. And we're going to start by just tracing a triangle on our hands, just slowly. So we're going to trace across this part of your hand down to a point and up. And we're going to, in a moment, we're going to sync our breath with this. Okay, and we're going to be curious about the pauses in between the in-breath and the out-breath, or the out-breath and the in-breath. Okay, so we're going to just breathe in along the top, and then out, out. Breathe in, out, out. And just notice, here and now, you're just here and now. Nothing else matters. The laundry will get done eventually. Doesn't need to be done right now. Those jobs that you need to do, you can do them in your own time. Just take some time here and now. And if it helps, you can either close your eyes or just let your focus become softened, your gaze become a little bit daydreamy. Just slowing, allowing your muscles to soften. If you want to carry on doing that, Elizabeth, then that's great. But I'm going to just do a little bit of tapping now too. And I'm just going to tap, so you can just follow me, even though I'm feeling really anxious right now. I know that I can come through this. Even though I'm feeling really anxious right now, I know I'm going to be okay. I can come through this. Even though I'm feeling really anxious right now, I know that I'm going to be okay and I can come through this. Then we're going to tap the top of our head just lightly. This feeling. Just be with this feeling. Be with the place that I'm sitting, standing, lying right now. Because no other place, no other time exists. Just this moment, here and now. Aware that there are other people in this community who are also struggling, and it's okay because we're just human. We're just human. You're human too, and that's all right. Then we move to this middle inner point of our eyebrow. Again, just gently tapping with 1 or 2 fingers. If you want, you could try doing that with both, or you can swap. It's up to you. I like just doing it with one, but it's up to you. It's completely fine. And again, just being with this feeling, being curious about it, allowing it to flow through your body, allowing your muscles to soften, allowing your nervous system to notice where you are here and now, just sitting still and steady. Nothing else matters in this moment. Right here and now, you're safe. Just you and me. That's all that matters here and now. And then we're going to go here to just the edge of your eye socket. And again, we'll just tap. And this is something that you can do. Anyone can do this. Research shows that this reduces levels of cortisol by 25%, reduces anxiety by 40%. Just being here and now. Just stopping the what ifs and the if onlys so that you can be here and now in this moment, present, aware of your feet on the floor, your back against a chair or a bed, aware of your breath, slow and steady, bringing yourself to now. And then here, again, just tapping gently. We don't want any bruising. Just taking your time, connecting with me, connecting with the other people on this live, connecting with people around the world, people you love, imagining being with them, imagining being in a place where you can feel present, as safe as possible. And then we go to here, being curious about where this is going, how different you can begin to feel. And that might be for you calmer, it might be steadier, it might be something else that's completely unique to you, and that's okay. Your nervous system beginning to understand that you can self-regulate, co-regulate, come to a place that feels better. And then here, sometimes we don't even need words. Sometimes it's just about the connection with the physical sensation, allowing the energy to flow more cleanly, more clearly, just letting everything soften. We get so stressed and so tense, don't we, in our lives, whether that's work, starting a business, our children. Sometimes it's so important to just stop and take a moment to be. And then we're going to feel underneath our collarbones, a place that's a little bit more tender. We're just going to gently tap with our fist. We are not punching ourselves. So many clients come to me and I say, oh, how about tapping? Have you done that? And they say, oh, I did that and I had bruises. That's not what it's supposed to be like. It's just gentle. We're being kind to ourselves. We're soothing our nervous system. Just being with that feeling, allowing it to flow, allowing it to be released. That's the thing. If you were to imagine the energy flowing through you from the top of your head all the way through your body and leaving through tips of your fingers, through your toes, through another part of you, it's okay. Whatever suits you, whatever feels right is fine. Letting it go. Letting all of this go. And then just this last place, the side of your body where your bra strap would lie. If it feels right to sigh, to yawn. If you feel emotional, it's all right. It's that release of tension that has been building within you for whatever reason, whatever's going on in your life. Just let it go. Let it go. Connecting with everyone here, connecting with me in a way that feels present. And then just bringing the tapping to a close. If your hands